All right, back once again for Renegade Master. Peep tap 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 power to the people. 3-5. Then we get unfortunately to the 3-5 on the right angle cross of rulership. At the mundane level, when you come to human design, you read the line of self oppression. You relate to that almost exclusively to a mental experience. Now, that's the way we teach them, and that's the primary level. But I want you to see something about the nature of self oppression. Oppression. These are people that need to find out that they don't have to be materially successful in order to be healthy. These are the kind of people that lay a heavy trip on themselves, a martyr trip, the punishment trip. If they don't do well, they can do they can be more ambitious because again the third line themes are material, and because there's a great potential in this configuration, there you have the eventual realization of what is really okay, or the extreme difficulty in realizing one's worth. Here you see the key at the material level. Now remember, something we're talking about the context of duality. Self oppression within the context of duality is often a result of claiming to be the ruler. I pay, I say. But what you pay is lousy. In other words, you're not a good provider. And you're not a good provider because it breaks down. And you know what happens to the reputation of any five that doesn't deliver the practical goods, that they end up being punished. And when you're dealing with the 3-5 here, that self oppression is so much that I am not worthy. If I were worthy, I could really look at my responsibilities on the material plane on the outside. Everybody thinks that the 47 gate is just a mental trip. Well, yeah, but it's a mental trip pointed at the material plane. The material plane work, the material action. And that the 47 gate is telling the not self mind to do something about it, which leads to even more self oppression. It's also one of those beautiful lines in the genetic continuity of the beauty of what it is to be a third line being. That if you're not caught in the self oppression, I made a mistake, I'm not worth it, if you're caught in that, you're never going to see that the truth is that you're really okay. You're really okay. You're really all right. That whatever level what you have on the material plane that you have achieved, what is what you can achieve. After all, in surrender, one recognizes that one gets exactly what one does deserves to ultimately in the potential. However, the fact of the matter is that most of these people living out the not self can end up being very destructive to themselves. These are the kind of people in an emotional race, if they happen to be emotional, will take the very best thing that they have sitting on the table, a plate, a dish, something special, something of sentimental value, and smash it. In relationships, these are people that feel that they have not made enough of a contribution, and as such, their pain is that they have to suffer in a relationship that hurts, and that they blame themselves because they're not able to take care of business. That's something to understand about the 3-5s. It's like anything what we teach here. See the continuity in all things. Move the information around the wheel. Learn to see the layers and layers and layers of depth and insight that you can bring to any configuration line. Profile how different these gates are depending on the quarter they come from. How important is to know that what a quarter is in order to truly begin to understand depth. And you have to teach mechanics first. You have to teach the basics first. 3-6. This is not an easy 3-6 configuration, even though it's in a quarter where in fact it's easier for them to find stability, simply because we know that partnership doesn't work. But you also have to see that in the case of the 3-6, the demands of the partner may be totally out of whack with the ability to be able to provide for it. In other words, this is a case where self oppression may in fact be the result of the demand of others, not something often misunderstood about this line is self worth. In other words, a partner that expects little, you can prove your worth easily. A partner that expects a great deal, it may be difficult or impossible to prove your worth. And it's all material. Long ago, we left behind the importance of consciousness or the importance of the right partner. We left it all behind. This is just about let's make it easy. Let's grease the wheels of illusion. I don't know who said that, but it's a great quote. Let's grease, let's make it easier and make it smoother. And if you can't, then you have failed. And when you get to the mundane level three in relationships, so often in our society, of the nature of the difficulties of the material plane, that you get to it failed because it couldn't provide. It failed because it couldn't give them what they needed. It failed because it couldn't give them what was important to give them. And more of this is not simply the traditional archetypal structure that lives that out. The typical male that has that in that situation. That's it.
I was like that as a five.